World tree is probably the oldest myth in the world. Deities live in the sky, and they are connected to Earth through this tree that holds the firmament of the sky over us. Earth and sky would crash together without it, and that would be the end for all of us. Spiritual and material world are always disconnected, but they cannot exist without one another. World Pillar was the first iteration of this myth. The first city dwellers didn't see the tree as the binding force of the universe, but the man-made pillar made more sense in their strict hierarchical world. It was the city and the man's triumph that held the universe together. All of this knowledge is mostly lost for us. We have customs of having trees in the garden that are a faint memory of ancestral trees, but there's more hidden symbolism in the garden. Names of the plants, bugs and animals carry some sort of connection to the myths, although the ancient connections are not clear to us anymore. But we recognize this from the times when written history has given extra names and meanings in the nomenclatura. For example, the Cherokee rose received this extra name during the Trail of Tears. But there is another example of this hidden layer in the nursery rhymes that we have all heard as a child. Take a listen to this nursery rhyme from Finland.
Oli ennen onnin mannista matikka. Matikasta maitopyörä, maitopyörästä pytikkä. Pytikästä pöytäristi, pöytärististä ripukka. Ripukasta rissinsolki, rissinsolesta sopukka. Sopukasta sormikinnas, sormikintahasta kirikkö. Kirikössä nuoret miehet naimattomat vielä viinan juomattomat. Punota punaista köyttä, rautaköyttä rahnikoja, millä mennä meren ylitse.
This is one of the versions of the nursery rhyme. It all sounds gibberish to us, but it is actually in the form of pagan oral poetry known as Kalevala meter, with its syllable rules, and in many versions the poem contains the words firmament and the word oak in these repeating nonsensical lines, meaning that this poem has something to do with the world tree myth, because world tree is described as an oak. As you can see, one thing always comes from something else in the nursery rhyme, so it is working like an origin myth, even in its modern form. Knowing the origin for various things in the nature is vital for tribal people. Since the nursery rhyme is almost chant-like, it could be a spell in its original form also. The most interesting version of this nursery rhyme, it is gathered from White Karelia area, where the local Finnish tribe lived in the contact with large bodies of water. The poem mentions young men who have not smoked or drank or married yet, meaning that they are innocent, perhaps holy men, or maybe they are the first men on earth, since the vices of the world has not touched them yet. They are making a red metallic rope that keeps the sea calm. Very important element for these Finns that have to survive next to the coastline. This version of the poem also mentions how the sky is being built and uses the symbolism of a boat to describe the clouds. But notice the evolution of this poem. In the modern version, it is describing the hierarchical form of the society instead of these creation myths. This is clear evolution of the myth, where trees turn into man-made pillars because the society inspires people to focus in their power structure that controls them more than the climate of the terrain. When me and my peers were telling these nursery rhymes to each other in the kindergarten, it had received again new form, and it started as a question, what should we do? And the first answer is to wash a pig. Then it continues in the same rhyme and rhythm, but the wordplay could be ended quickly by asking with whose permission. Then you would answer with the president's testicles, of course. Quite funny and silly, but the new version also kept some sort of perspective how the world works. But instead of seeking origin of anything, it just expresses the boredom that is tormenting attribute to the postmodern people. What I want you to take from this knowledge is to increase your perception to the manners and customs around you. Examine the nursery rhymes in your region. You will notice that the nursery rhymes have traveled around the world, but stop to think about them and you might find a chant that was once repeated in some mysterious occasion. Tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Good observation about the urban world, but what could be origin of this spell? Perhaps in its original form it was meant to work as a nursery rhyme, to soothe us to the perils that are awaiting us in this environment.